The fate of a controversial immigration law in the state of Texas remains unclear after its implementation was blocked and then allowed to go into effect by the Supreme Court, only to be blocked yet again by another court. Now, this law has the potential to reshape immigration to the United States, with especially big implications for asylum seekers who can't get a visa and thus come to this country through the southern border seeking protection from persecution. And the stakes are huge. If the law is implemented, anyone in the state of Texas whom law enforcement thinks could be an undocumented immigrant, well, they're going to be subject to arrest and could even be deported. In this video, I'm going to break down for you where things stand with the Texas law known as SB 4. I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum lawyer, well, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. Let me know in the comments if you've got an asylum case pending or you're considering applying, and I'd especially like to hear from you if you've been waiting for an asylum interview for multiple years. So in a landmark ruling that has ignited a firestorm of debate across the United States, a federal appeals court issued an injunction against the state of Texas, effectively blocking its controversial law, SB 4, which criminalizes illegal border crossings and authorizes state officials to carry out deportations. This development came mere hours after the U.S. Supreme Court, in a move that surprised many legal experts and political observers, allowed the law to proceed amid ongoing litigation. The case underscores a growing tension between state and federal authorities over immigration enforcement, an issue that remains at the forefront of America's political discourse. The controversial law, which is part of Governor Greg Abbott's broader strategy to strengthen the state's role in managing immigration, represents a significant shift from the long-standing federal oversight of immigration policies. And it comes at a time of unprecedented increases in border crossings, highlighting the significant challenges and complexities of enforcing immigration laws in the United States. So this law's provisions, including the imposition of state criminal penalties on undocumented migrants and the empowerment of state judges to order deportations without Mexico's consent, have sparked a fierce backlash, drawing criticism from a wide range of stakeholders, including foreign governments, civil rights organizations, and of course, the Biden administration. Migrants newly arrived in Texas shared their fears with the media about developments around the law, worrying about potential arrest by state authorities. In the border city of Brownsville, groups gathered, many of whom had entered the country legally through official asylum channels, and they're now facing uncertainty with this law's brief enactment and the possibility that it could go back into effect at any moment. This apprehension was palpable, especially as law enforcement vehicles passed these people by. Critics of the law, including those who have navigated the legal entry process, described it as unfair and frightening, highlighting the arduous journey they've endured, only to be met with the prospect of detention. Asylum seekers armed with documentation of their legal entry hoped for understanding and leniency from authorities, underscoring the vulnerability and anxiety experienced by those seeking refuge here. Moreover, local officials expressed confusion and concern over the law's enforcement, citing a lack of guidance and resources from the state. And some sheriffs actually have no interest in enforcing the law. They point to limited jail capacity and the logistical difficulty of actually deporting people. Now, some officials say they will focus on crimes beyond immigration violations to establish probable cause for arrest, meaning they won't arrest someone just because they suspect the person might not have papers. Now, Texas politicians have retorted that enforcement of this law is not optional, it's mandatory. So at the heart of the controversy is the law's potential to fundamentally alter the landscape of immigration enforcement in the United States. Critics argue that SB 4 not only encroaches on the federal government's authority over immigration matters, but also raises profound concerns about human rights, due process, and international relations. And Mexico's outright rejection of the law, coupled with its warnings about the implications for potential family separations, discrimination, and racial profiling, underscores the international ramifications of this policy. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision to let the law take effect, albeit temporarily, has added yet another layer of complexity to the whole issue, highlighting the judicial system's pivotal role in shaping the nation's immigration policies. Interestingly, the dissenting opinions of the court's liberal federal justices who cautioned against inviting further chaos and crisis in immigration enforcement reflect the deep divisions within the judiciary and the country at large over how to address the challenges posed by illegal immigration. And this legal saga also sheds light on the broader political dynamics at play, particularly the escalating battle between the Biden administration and Republican-led states over the direction of U.S. immigration policy. The litigation over SB 4 is really just the latest chapter in a contentious debate over the appropriate balance between state initiative and federal oversight in managing the nation's borders. And as the 2024 presidential election looms, immigration is poised to remain a hot-button issue, with both parties seeking to leverage the topic to galvanize their respective bases. So the immediate and long-term impacts of SB 4 on border crossings and the broader immigration system are yet to be fully realized. Proponents argue that the law and initiatives like Texas's Operation Lone Star, which is an initiative to clamp down on illegal immigration, have already begun to deter illegal immigration into Texas by prompting migrants to reroute to other states. However, critics warn that such measures could exacerbate humanitarian concerns, strain international relations, and undermine the principles of federalism that have traditionally guided U.S. immigration policy. The legal challenges to SB 4 also highlight the intricate and often contentious relationship between immigration law and constitutional principles. District Court Judge David Ezra's assertion in this case that the statute is likely unconstitutional for intruding into federal affairs echoes a broader debate over the limits of state power in regulating immigration. And the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals' decision to halt the lower court's injunction, pending further review, signifies the ongoing legal uncertainty surrounding the law and its implications for the nation's immigration framework. As the case progresses, with oral arguments set to consider the constitutionality of SB 4, the nation watches closely. The outcome of this legal battle will not only determine the fate of thousands of migrants and the scope of Texas's immigration enforcement efforts, but also set important precedents for the role of states in shaping immigration policy. Moreover, it'll test the resilience of the U.S.'s legal and political institutions in navigating the complex interplay between national security, human rights, and the timeless ideals of liberty and justice that underpin the American ethos. If you're ready to take the next step and get help with your asylum case, then call my office today. That number is 713-909-0401. And remember, we help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you live. Call us today to schedule an asylum strategy session so that we can see if we can help you to secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to support you in your asylum journey.